Class 12 CBSE Computer Science with Python. In our last video, I have discussed about the very interesting topic in Class 12. It is Interface Python with MySQL. And I have taught you the introduction and how to connect the pip command. And I have taught you how to import this MySQL.connector in the Python shell prompt. Hope you all understand that concept very well. So if you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe my channel and share with your friends also. And don't forget to press the bell button so that you can get my notifications on time. Okay, let us move on to today's video. Let us recap the last video. So first of all, for installing this MySQL connector, you should install this pip command, pip install MySQL connector Python in the command prompt section. And after installing, you should check whether the connection has been made correct or not. So for that, you should import this MySQL.connector in Python shell prompt. Okay. So if you are watching this video, please you can watch the previous video, then only you can able to understand. I can give the link of the previous video on the description box. Kindly go and learn from that link. Okay. So if it does not show any error after making this import command, then we have successfully installed this MySQL.connector application. And in the last class, I have taught you the steps for creating the database connectivity. So those are the steps which are used for creating the database connectivity. So far we have created only the first step. So I have taught you only the first step. What is the step? Import the package MySQL.connector. So now we are going to open the connection to a database, creating the cursor instance, execute a query, extract the data from the result set, and finally we are cleaning up the environment. So don't worry, I will teach you all those things in practical mode. So for importing this MySQL.connector, so in Python shell prompt, we have typed this command import MySQL.connector. Or else if you are working with SQL tar, then you can import MySQL.connector as member aliasing like SQL tar. You can use this as keyword as for member aliasing. So instead of working on the other language, so you can work on this SQL tar. You can use this member aliasing by using this as keyword. So the next I have taught you how to open the connection to the MySQL database. For that, these are the syntax. Let us recap this also. So CON is nothing but connection object. Here the variable for connection object I have given is CON. This is nothing but a variable. Okay, this is called as a connection object. The name of the connection object is CON, that is connection. In short form, I have named it as CON. And after that, you should write MySQL.connector. Okay, then after that you should keep the dot. Then you should open the connect function. In the connect function, you will be having 4 parameters. So the first parameter is host, and the second parameter is user, and the third one is password, and the fourth parameter is database. All these 4 parameters are very important to make the connection to MySQL connector database. Okay. So in default, the name of the host is localhost. You should write name of the host is localhost. And what is the username? The username is by default, which is root. You should write ROOT as a username, and it is also a default value. And the password which is used here is 123. But you should use the password while opening your SQL. You will be typing one password when opening the SQL software. So that password you should type it here. And after the databases, we have created and worked on many databases in SQL database. So if you're working on any particular database, then you can mention this database here. Okay, here for example, it is given as school. So school, if we are clicking the database is equal to school, then we are going to work on that particular database called as school. Let us move on to the next slide. Hope you all are understanding. If you are not able to understand, please comment on the comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Okay, so let us move on to the next slide. To check the current user and host of a system, type the following command. Okay, so what is the current username and the host? So in the previous video I have said you about the current username is root and the current host name is localhost. This is by default I said you. To check it on your SQL command, so you can type this command in MySQL environment. So what is the command? Select current underscore user semicolon. If you give this command in the MySQL software, then you put this current user as root at localhost. Okay. This root is your username and this localhost is your host name. So it will come like that. Now I have opened my SQL software and I am going to type this command. See this command, select current underscore user, open bracket and close bracket with semicolon. So what it comes? So it comes as current underscore user root at localhost. It means that current user is working on this username as root and the host. The host name is localhost. This root is working at localhost. It means that root is working at localhost. Okay. Hope you all clear on this slide. Let us move on to the next slide. Creating the cursor instance. Let us read this. A database cursor is a special control structure that facilitates the row-by-row processing of records in the result set. What is meant by result set? Result set is nothing but set of records retrieved as per query. So some of them you should be having a doubt. What is meant by a result set? Result sets are nothing but set of records retrieved as per query. Whatever the query we are giving on the SQL software, then what are the things which are getting retrieved? The answer, the outputs, okay, that is called as a records. Those are called as a result set. But for that, how to call the cursor? How to call this cursor function? By using the connection object. So the connection object which we have declared is CON. I have showed you that connection object is CON. So you should call this cursor function by using the connection object. So the connection object name might be getting varies. Okay. So but it is called as a connection object. So you should call this cursor function by using this connection object and store that in some other variable. Okay. So cursor object is equal to connection object dot cursor. This is how you should create the cursor instance. Okay. I will show all the things in practical. So let us learn first how to execute the SQL query. Once you have created a cursor, you execute SQL query by using this execute function with the cursor object. How we can execute this SQL query? So we are using what? This cursor, and then after that we are using this execute function to execute the queries. The syntax for that is the cursor object dot execute function. In that execute function, we will be having the queries. So the queries are the same as we have studied on the SQL commands. So whatever the commands we studied in SQL, the same commands you should type it here to execute the particular queries. Understand? The next is extracting the data from the result set. So we are having three functions. Okay, one is fetch all, the next is fetch one and fetch many. These are the three functions which we can which are extracting the data from the result set. For example, data is equal to cursor.fetchAll. So what it does, it returns all the records retrieved as per query in the form of tuple. Okay, it is retrieving all the records which is given in the query in the form of tuple. Okay, in the Python output screen will be all the SQL tables in tuple form. So the next function is data is equal to cursor.fetch1 function. What it does, it will read one record from the result set as a tuple. Fetch all will return all the records from the result set in the form of tuple. But the fetch 1 returns only one record from the result set as the form of tuple. First time it will fetch the first record and the next time it will fetch the second record. Okay, so and at the first it will fetch only the first record. That means first row it will fetch and it will give you the output in the output screen. And the second time if you are executing means then it read the second row and then it will give that second row as the output in the output Python screen. Understand? Then data is equal to cursor.fetch many. This method fetches n records in the form of tuple. So the fetch many contains an arguments. Here n is an argument. So if we give fetch many in the argument section, if we give 3 or any number, then it will fetch that much records in the form of a tuple. Okay, don't worry, I will show all those things in the practical. Then last one is, this is not row count. Row count is not a function. Okay, so row count is nothing but it is the property of a cursor, returns the number of rows retrieved. So this row count is used to count the number of rows it has been retrieved. Okay, understand? Let us open a connection to MySQL database in practical mode now. For that, I am opening the Python idle environment. Okay. Now I am going to import the connection object. What is the connection? What is the thing we should import? We should import MySQL.connector. So this is the library which is used to connect MySQL with Python. Okay. And then next we should use this connection object. Here this variable name is called as a connection object, CON. So that means the connection is short form I have written as CON. Next step is to copy this MySQL.connector and paste it here. Then after that keep a dot, then write, open the connect function. So in the connect function we are having the 4 parameters. So the first parameter is host and the host name is by default localhost, comma, the second parameter is user and by default the username is root. You should type root, comma, and the next thing is password. The third parameter is password. You should type the password which you are using in your SQL opening time. Okay. The next is database. Database is equal to, I will work on employee database which I have been already created in MySQL. Okay, so these are the 4 parameters which is very important. Okay, for my computer I need one another parameter also. So that too I will type here. That is authentication plugin. So let me type MySQL underscore name underscore password. Then close the bracket. Okay. For you, this authentication plugin is not required. Okay. So you should need only these 4 things: host, user, password in the database, which is very important. Okay. So my computer is needed of this authentication plugin. So that's why I'm adding this parameter also. Okay. If your computer is asking for that also, then you can add this authentication plugin. Okay. So now we have successfully written this open connection method. So by using this connect function, we have written all those parameters and localhost, user, root, password 12345, which is my password for SQL, and the database which we are going to work on is employee database I have selected. After that, we are going to write if con dot is connected. I am going to check whether it is connected or not. For that, I am going to write if con, this is connection object. Okay, So if the connection object is connected, I'm checking, okay, is connected function, then it should print connection successful. So it should print like this, okay. This is for our understanding only. So let me execute this program. Okay, so now it has been came that in the output part connection is successful. So this is the thing you should understand, how to connect this MySQL connector with Python environment. Okay, so now we are in this part only. So in this slide what I have taught you, so import MySQL connector, you should use this import mysql.connector. Then after that you should use this connect function by using the connection object con, and then cursor instance. So the next step is to create the cursor instance. For that you should type cursor object is equal to connection object dot cursor. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Okay, now it is not needed, so I'm taking it out. Now I'm going to call the cursor function by using the connection object. So our connection object is con, so I'm going to call this connection function by using the connection object. Then you should call the function cursor. So for that I'm typing cursor. Okay, this is how we should call the cursor function, and I'm storing that, okay, and I'm storing that in object, okay, cursor object. This is your cursor object, and I'm calling this cursor function. Okay. Once the cursor function has been called, the cursor will be moving on to each and every row we are executing. For that, we are creating this cursor calling function, and we are calling that cursor function and storing that in cursor object. This cur is your cursor object. So the next is we are going to use the execute function. So just write, after calling the cursor function, just you should execute by using this cursor object. So cursor dot execute, and then you should write the command which and all is there on the SQL command sections. So I'm going to select star from employee. So what it will give you, you should write the commands within the double quotes. Okay, so the star from employee will retrieve all the columns from the table. Then after that I'm going to call this fetch all function. Okay, fetch all function I have taught you in the previous I have taught you before now only. So you are going to call this fetch all function by using this cursor object cursor.fetchAll and storing that on the variable data. Understand? So this fetch all function, it will read all the datas. Okay, so this fetch all function, it returns all the records as per the query in the form of tuple I have taught you, right? So that is the thing we have done now. So now we are going to print that data. Once I'm going to okay, wait a minute. Before executing this program and before executing this query select star from employee, let us open MySQL database, and you should change that database. Okay, whatever the database we are going to use, you should use this use command, use database. Okay, so what is the name of the database we are using? Employee database. So just I'm using this use employee command, and the database has been changed now. Now I'm going to check what are all the tables available in the employee database. So now we have these tables available in the databases. Now I'm going to select star from EMP. Okay, so this is one of the table which is inside this. So instead of employee, I'm going to type this table name, select star from EMP. Okay, now I'm going to execute this. Okay, so see the things which are coming here. Let me show you. You can find the details of the students which was in the form of tuples. Okay, so it is covered in the list, but it is inside the tuple form. Okay, in the form of tuple it has been returned. Understand the query? Okay. So we have used this fetch all and it returns all the records as per the query in the form of tuple. Okay, I will show you in this also. Select star from EMP. So these are the details which we got on this Python output screen in the shell prompt. Okay, it was in the form of tuple. So this is the first record. This is the first record, and this is your second record. 104 Sushil M and R4 5679. Okay, this is your second record and this is your third record. So all the records are updated line by line in the form of tuples, but it is enclosed within the list format. You all understand how to retrieve the data by using the fetch all function, and hope you understand the concept of how to make the connection by using this connection object, and how to check the connection is connected or not, and then how to call the cursor function by using this connection object, and how to execute the query by using this cursor object, and how to fetch the data by using fetch all functions and print that function. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. In the next video we will be seeing the fetch all functions, fetch one functions and fetch many. Okay, so